Hello, welcome to Swapping Joysticks, a very special episode. This is your home of LGBTQIA+ streaming, gaming content, and I'm Ben Starr, otherwise known as Biggest Bennis, joined as always by Ed Nightingale, world-renowned games journalist.
I wouldn't go that far, but thank you. Yep, how are you doing, Ben?
Not doing too badly.
Yeah?
We've got a guest.
I know. I'm very excited. Very excited. This is a Final Fantasy 16 special, and joining us is the voice of Clive, Mr. Ben Starr.
Wow. Wowee. Yeah. Hello, everyone. How are you?
Doing well. How are you doing?
I'm doing really well. It's very cool that we get to do this, so thanks for having me on.
Thank you so much for agreeing. And we have decorated this podcast studio with...
Yeah.
So, a lot of these are your books.
Yeah, these are your books.
They are. I came in and brought them in like it was like show and tell day at school. I was like, look at all my Final Fantasy guides that I have. I left the 12 one at home, which really annoyed me after I pulled them out of the bag. But yeah.
Oh no! Well, how's life been since the release of Final Fantasy 16?
Life has been very, very strange because there was a lot of kind of press leading up to it actually just coming out, and then it comes out, and then people start playing it, and you get drips of people kind of getting further and further in the game, and I get messages from people saying, I'm up to this point, and it's been really lovely when people kind of like finally finish it, and for whatever reason, there's been this amazing... people have felt this cathartic need to just message me going, I've just finished it, credits are rolling.
I mean, that's what you did, didn't it?
No.
I think that's a really kind of the power of this game is that a lot of times, not for everyone, but like a lot of people have messaged me immediately after finishing it and have just gone, I just need to talk to you about this game, which has been really, really lovely. Because, you know, we did this a while ago and I've been working on it for a long time, and you kind of lose sight of what it is. And the fact that, you know, there are people out there who the ending or the game or the experience they've just had is resonating with people. I'm like, that's cool.
Have you been surprised by the reaction from fans?
I think I've been surprised because it's never really felt real. Like, you know, like it has
until it's out.
And even now, I just think you must be lying. No, you don't really like me. And I always have this idea that, you know, they're just being nice, but it's kind of, it keeps happening. So maybe that we're onto something with it.
I think you are. Have you had a chance to play it yourself?
I have, yeah, I have.
And what do you think?
I think that I had such a strange experience because these games, as you can see from my kind of show and tell, they mean a lot. So, but each one has always been a surprise. You know, I think that's one of the joys is being taken on this journey that takes you out of this world. Whereas this one, I knew exactly what was going to happen at all points. So I was really hypercritical, I think. Brutally, honestly, I was like hypercritical of the stuff that I was doing. But it was all the more magical when there were moments that I just went, wow, yeah, that's cool. That worked. And it worked exactly like I wanted it to. And those magical moments where you kind of go, oh, this performance that I did actually worked. And obviously the person you're opposite, whether you're opposite Ralph Fiennes and Susanna Fielding, like Chris York, these amazing actors, and they're just absolutely smashing it out the park. And when that thing sings in harmony with Soken's music and the amazing CGI cut sequences that the team have made, it just really sings. So those moments will always be special to me. So yeah, it was a unique experience, and one that I suppose I feel like the luckiest person in the world to have that very particular experience where you're playing yourself.
Is it weird playing and hearing your own voice and thinking, oh no, that's me in a video game?
Yeah.
That must be bizarre. Like, I hate hearing my own voice. I'm sure you do, but...
Oh yeah, I don't ever listen to my podcast.
No.
I might do for this one.
It'd be nice. I have come all the way to, so you may as well. I do find it very, very strange to listen to myself, but I suppose once you're playing it for like 40 hours, 50 hours, you get used to it in the end.
But I finished it.
I did finish it, yeah. I've rolled credits, and I will go for the platinum trophy, but I think I'm going to take a break before I do go back onto Final Fantasy mode and play it all the way through, because I just think that I have lived this game for so long that I was talking about it, I was tweeting about it, I was interacting with fans and going on podcasts and talking about it, and I was also going home and playing.
Sorry.
Yeah, the nightmare.
Another one.
Stop asking me to do stuff. and I'm now going to take a break and I'm going to play something else and then get to come back in, you know, a couple of months' time and have that same experience again, except be way powerful.
I've nearly got the platinum. I'm on Final Fantasy mode. I'm like 2/3 through, so once I get that,
and things are still one-shotting you, aren't they?
No.
That's because
you were getting very upset last night.
I am a very calm gamer, thank you, Ben.
Do you have any? Are you allowed? I mean, I haven't played the Final Fantasy mode yet. So, are you allowed to use the accessories or not in Final Fantasy?
Yeah. You still can. It is literally the main game, but you are a high level. Clive starts as a high level. You can use all your same equipment.
New enemies.
All of your
in different spaces.
Yeah. So like there was a chimera in the forest at the start, which I was not expecting.
Like Breath of the Wild hard mode, because like there's what the thing's called, the
Moblins?
Lionels on like the opening plateau. So I like that idea. Just random massive enemies pop up.
It's worth doing.
Yeah.
Okay. I mean, it is. Yeah. I'm like such a. I'm sure we'll talk about it later. But I'm such a platinum trophy hunter, so I will end up doing it. But I think I'm just going to take a break for my own sanity, that I don't kind of like bleed this game all the way through.
You deserve that.
Thank you.
Oh
my god.
I'm taking a little break before Final Fantasy mode, and I just literally played it for the first time. Yeah. Are there any parts of it that you're playing and going like, oh, I wasn't there for that voice acting. This is news to me.
Or I mean, there's lots of bits that I wasn't there for, but I've been so much a part of the fabric of this game from the first day of recording, that I became so close with a lot of the team that they just showed me so much of it, because it was helpful that I knew, because you play as Clive all the way through, context is super important. And even if Clive's not a part of it, it was very useful for me to know, right, this is what the audience will have just seen. This is what they'll have just, experienced. So that's where we kind of need Clive to be. So I was pretty much across most of it. There were a couple of things I hadn't seen, but most of it I was aware of. And I became so close to the team, I'd just ask if I can watch it, and they would. Like the amount of times that I would just, Koji would be in town and I would just go into his hotel room, we'd just watch 2 hours of watching Final Fantasy cut sequences. It was very cool.
I love that. Koji's in town.
Just
watch some of the new game.
Yeah. Well, there was a time just before we did the event at the Tower of London where he had like a debug version of the game, and we went for food just beforehand, and he said, do you want to see some of it? I was like, yes please. And I said I've only got half an hour, and an hour and a half later I was still in his room watching it. It was like a bunch of nerds being like, oh my god, that's so cool, oh wow. And
now that's the rest of us.
Yeah.
Are you surprised by the fan reaction to the game?
No, I'm not actually. I really love, I said this before, that I think that however you take this game, there's 3 million copies or something that it's already sold. I think that millions of people will play this game, and all I really kind of care about is the 1 or 2 people, like I said, who it really matters to, because you forget in the massive numbers that this game will do that this is going to be a lot of people's first Final Fantasy, and that's really cool. You've seen all the advertising for it, start with 16. Square really want people to get into this franchise and discover it, and discover the immense depth that it has. So you have 16, you like this world, or wait till we show you all the other ones as well. It's cool, and hopefully that's what it does.
Yeah, I've had a couple of people seen that we're interviewing you, and they were like, oh, Final Fantasy 16, what's that one? And they're like, do I have to play the other 15? I was like, nope, it's completely new, completely fresh story, 0 things carry on. There might be some similarities to other things, and some, like chocobos and crystals, but like there's no story carrying on. And like a couple of people have been like, oh, I'm going to go and play that. Yeah,
isn't it? That question is really interesting. Do I have to have played the other ones? Because we take it for granted. We're like, yeah, of course you don't have to.
Yeah. But with a number.
You just assume that people know that, but they don't. And the amount of people I've had to say, no, you can literally start with this one. It's really amazing how, the idea of our own little personal bubbles, we just assume that is the case, but it isn't. And it's amazing that this has been the game that I know lots of people have said, I'm going to start with this one. This is my first one. And
it's very approachable, I think.
Yeah.
Like, it doesn't have the in-depth turn-based battles and strategy. Well, it has strategy, but it doesn't have all those complex things from the old games. It is a more streamlined, more modern, more action-focused game, which I think a lot of people are going to be more interested in than they would have done the rest of the series.
Yeah, you look at the demo and how just the amount of heavy lifting the demo did.
Oh, yeah, that was a great marketing.
It was a complete stroke of genius, and one that completely took me by surprise. because I'd already played the demo, I'd experienced it, I'd already worked on it for ages, so I knew what was going to happen in it. I'd also seen all of the trailers, so I kind of thought that everyone knew what was going to happen in that demo. And then it gets released, and all of these people that haven't consumed any sort of Final Fantasy information up to this point get to experience it for the first time, and the, in inverted commas, tragic events that happen in that demo. And it was amazing to see genuine shock on people's faces when they saw what that was, and experience it genuinely for the first time, people who hadn't seen any information about it at all, which was really cool, because I think maybe we, as fans who consume all of that stuff, take for granted what people don't know already, and we come with all of our baggage, we come with all of our prior knowledge that will of course influence how we feel about this. But there are some people who, this might be the only game they play this year, this might be the first game they ever play on a PlayStation 5, which is quite cool.
Yeah. Nice.
Yeah, I was thinking, like, there were so many people that were converted as well. I know a few people that were quite happy to go, Zelda's out, that's doing incredibly well. What was out earlier this year that did? Diablo, yeah, people were loving that.
Resident Evil 4.
Resident Evil 4, yeah, we'll get onto that. I guess. Great. I know how much you like it.
I do, yeah.
But, and then this came out, I think people were just ready to be like, I'll play the demo, and then hopefully that'll be enough. But, like, the amount of people, I was looking at comments on a certain website that you're on, and, like, looking at comments, and so many people were just responding to that going, oh, I really need to buy this game. I have never played the demo and then immediately pre-ordered. Like that's how powerful it was.
I think the power of demos is, I mean, think about when we were kids, and whatever it was, and whatever Xbox magazine, Nintendo magazine, or official PlayStation magazine for me.
Yeah, same.
The demo discs. And the fact that your PlayStation 1 came with, I mean, I think I had demo disc 1 with my first PlayStation.
Did you get the dinosaur?
Yeah.
Classic. And it's in Astrobot.
Yes.
Astro's Playroom, yeah. It's amazing how powerful that a bite-sized experience can be to making you want to play more. And I think that the demo did that for people. It was this amazing kind of distillation of what this game is and what this game can be, and this type of storytelling that it wants to do. And it brings us back to those days where you get official PlayStation magazine. I remember playing Anna Kournikova Smash Court Tennis constantly with my friend Mike Griffiths. Like, that's what we used to do, and all those demos I'd play to the ends of the earth. Keep doing it. I mean, I still think one of the greatest demos of all time is Metal Gear Solid 2, the Tanker Mission.
Yes. Because that was such a bait and switch as well of you think this is what the game's going to be, and actually it's not.
It's also just, I remember playing that game as well, and really, really loving it. But I would go back to the Tanker Mission and I would just play it again and again, because it is a perfect playground. Whether you are there's that bit in the bar where every single one of the bottles is breakable. You just shoot them,
and that was so mind blowing back in the day.
I think it still is now. No one in the, I mean, probably not. Technology has moved on, but that was really, really mind blowing. And I think that what was the time between Metal Gear Solid 1 and 2 was probably 3 years.
Yeah, something like that.
It was, just think about the graphical upgrade between Metal Gear Solid 1, which I still think the art style is pretty amazing, to MGS2, and what they were achieving. The rain, the fact that you would go indoors and they would see your footprints from the rain, or they could hear. That's just a mad thing.
Amazing.
I used to just keep playing Metal Gear Solid 1 demo, I think it was, and just smoking. Been like, oh look, I can smoke cigarettes in a game.
Yeah, and that is a great advertisement for all video games.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. No, the demo I was obsessed with was Pandemonium 2. I don't know why, I just loved Pandemonium 2.
What was it that you could do in that demo?
I think it was because there were different ways to complete the level. There were so many. It was quite a fast-paced platformer, but there were different ways to get to the end, different routes, which kind of blew my mind. I was like, wow, I can play this demo 5 times in different ways. And there were the ones I remember: Pandemonium 2, Toka Touring Car, because you could turn around and then crash into them all. That was always fun. And Steve McQueen, the firefighting one.
The what?
Wow. Do you remember Steve? Is it Steve McQueen? Or was it a different one? Steve McQueen's a real person though, isn't he?
Steve McQueen. It's in the film Star?
See, there was a firefighting one. Maybe it wasn't called Steve McQueen. Maybe it's a different one.
But let's pretend there is a Steve McQueen PlayStation. Wait, I need
to PS1 firefighting game. It's something McQueen, I'm sure.
So Steve
Lightning McQueen? No, Roscoe McQueen. There we go.
Roscoe McQueen.
I knew
Who
that.
was that?
He's a firefighter.
He's a famous firefighter.
Firefighter Extreme. There you go. And that was great. You just went and put fires out, but it was also very... Grr.
Yeah, it sounds it because it has the word extreme on the end.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
me, Butch. Speaking of...
one thing that was really interesting to us is the fact that this is the first Final Fantasy game with explicit LGBT characters.
Yes.
Which is great. And we won't spoil it and say what happens. What were your thoughts when you saw that in the script? As a fan of the series, sort of knowing what was going to happen in this game?
I just thought it was awesome. I thought it was wicked. And I think about time, really. I think that Final Fantasy has such clearly a huge LGBTQ following, and to have it represented in that way is super important. So it made me really, really happy. And I remember actually seeing the scene for the first time where you first realise what's happening and you're going, brilliant, great, about time, more please. And I think that's what I think is more please. So yeah, that's my take on it, and I'm really happy because I think I'm actually going to a Final Fantasy drag.
I think we're all going.
Yeah, we are. Right? We're all going. Yeah, Slay Station. Yes. And I just think it's wonderful for that, and I can't wait to see what happens in the future with this franchise.
Did you wonder, like, well, when you saw that, do you think, oh, people are going to experience this, and you can't wait to see people's reactions?
Yeah, I think so. I think it was just meaningful for me to see that. I think that it's just really cool to see that is part of the story, and it's a part of these characters, and it's important for their story. And I just think it was really, really, it's really lovely, and I think it's a really tender, beautiful part of the game that's really represented really well. But I can't wait for more. I think this is a start. Let's see where we can go.
It's interesting. It's the Final Fantasy 14 team as well, because there is a huge LGBT presence on Final Fantasy 14. So knowing that it's kind of Yoshi P and the 14 creative business unit, that three.
CBU 3.
Yeah, that's it. The fact that it's them is kind of like, they know who's going to play it.
Yeah, I think it was great. I just think it's great.
And it's great that it doesn't like define that character as well. It's just like it's one moment and then we move on, and it's just a part of who they are, which is really great.
Yeah, I think it's better. It's better that this isn't an archetype. You come in, you think this is. It's got very particular, unfortunate traits that some people might have, like want to represent in that way, but no. This character is this way, and it's important for the emotional core of who they are and what they represent, and I really, really like that.
Yeah.
And they're not just kind of dwelling on it, and it turns into the villain, and the way that it often gets portrayed.
Exactly.
Well, before we move on to some questions that we've had from fans, we did see, and you have posted images of you in like the facial mocap.
Yes.
So they based Clive's face on that. There's also a bit in the game, quite near the beginning, where you are in a jail cell. I wondered, did they motion cap the rest of you as well?
They did, yeah.
I told them that I was going to ask this. He's like, you can't ask this.
My entire body, they did. No, they didn't do that. So what I told you, they had the whole
You did post the pictures if they were.
Yeah, it's a very. I would say this. Clive is a beautiful, beautiful man, and listen. I go to the gym. I like to do exercise, but I mean, I would kill to have a body like.
Wouldn't we all?
Wouldn't we all?
Yeah.
Wouldn't we all? I mean, everyone's pretty damn attractive in this video game. But yeah, no, they didn't. I should have said yes, they did. They just modelled all of Clive's naked scenes.
That was your opportunity to lie, Ben.
Yeah, I'm just
You've lost it now.
Sorry, let's just cut back. They only used my body. I did actually say, I think I tweeted the other day that I did all my own chest acting, because the amount of people that I've seen of the memes of just like people just licking Clive's chest.
Wow.
Is that a thing, like in
it
person?
Is a thing.
Or?
It is a thing. Not in person, just on the screen.
Like licking the screen?
Yeah, I've seen people licking the screen, or like people like superimposing other characters licking Clive's chest.
Wow. Yeah. Actually, one thing I did see, obviously you can pet the dog, you can pet Torgal.
You can.
And I saw a streamer who had managed to angle it so that Clive was then in front of Sid, and then the dog was behind
Yep.
Sid.
Yeah.
And they were trying to pet the dog
Yeah.
and basically groping Sid.
Yeah.
And it was
That
very
is, and
amusing.
that's what the internet should be used for at all points. Don't you think? I remember when Tears of the Kingdom came out, and all it was just people doing creating penis
course.
characters.
Fire shooting
That's
out.
what the internet is there for. It is not there for serious discourse
Yeah.
about anything. It's about how can we do the most grotesque stuff with characters who we love.
Great.
Perfect.
Well, we're going to go on to some more stuff on that. But firstly, we have some fan questions. So we put out online some questions or requests for questions.
Yes.
And we had a lot. A lot of people
Yeah.
have a lot of questions.
Right, okay.
We've grouped some of them together, but we will start off
if
with...
somebody does ask a question and it's like, wait a minute, I asked that question. There were some duplicate ones. We've tried to match the ones if
Yeah.
there are two people asking the same question.
Yeah.
So the first is from Neuroxin, who is in our Discord community. Your Yorkie Milton is adorable.
Thank you.
Did he get to record any yips or barks for the game, or did you try and get him involved in
I
some
really
way?
wanted. Oh God, I wanted him to be used so much. That's why I brought him in almost every single day. He was not used, but I did direct pretty much most of my "Here, boy" those lines to Milton when he was there, and I think I posted like him in the booth all the time, and sometimes I'd be doing some really serious scenes, and he would just be like trying to crawl up my leg, and I'd be cradling him in my arms whilst I'm doing like Titan noises, like "Ugh."
No, they're screaming, I'm gonna fucking kill you.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, exactly. But yeah, no, he didn't record any yips for it, but I wish he had. But he is technically a part of it, because when I'm saying "good boy," all of that stuff, that is directly to Milton. He was there.
He should be in the credits.
Yeah.
He should be in the credits, shouldn't he? Wow. Don't worry, I'm making it happen. I post way too much about Milton because he's far too cute.
Yeah.
I think I've heard you say "sick it, Torgal" so many times.
Yeah. That's going to be something that's going to follow me around conventions for the rest of my life. Yeah. Here, boy. My wounds, boy. That thing.
No, another one from Neuroxin. He has some great questions. Were you shocked by the amount of swearing in the game? Because, I mean, there have been swear words used, but there are quite a few in this.
I wasn't actually shocked. I actually, yes, no. When I first read the script, I was like, oh man, there's swearing in this game. But one thing that we found over time was how do we take the swearing out? So when it does happen, it doesn't feel like gratuitous all of the time. There could have been far more opportunities for Clive just to say the F word and the S word and all the stuff. You know, he could have done that a lot more. So when it's there for a reason. I watched a streamer today play it, and I went, oh yeah, that's when I say it twice. It did shock me, because I thought, is this going to be the first mainline entry to do this amount of swearing? And yeah, but I mean, then it's not mainline, but Stranger Paradise came out and they were just using it left, right, and centre.
Yeah,
it was
that's true.
Jack Garland.
I played Final Fantasy 14. There's plenty of terrible language in that, but usually from other people.
That's true. Another from Discord is from Clues, who asks, were you provided with any materials like concept art or a design bible to help you picture the world and the environment?
Yes, I was. When I got given the part, they showed me Clive for the first time, an image that I don't think many people have actually seen. I think the image that I was first given of Clive is one, I think there's an art book coming out soon, and it's like a really early design image of Clive.
We need to get that for the wall.
Yeah.
Get it. Yeah, you need it. There is a design book, and I think they've just released images online, and I really wanted to be like, this was the first image I ever saw of Clive, but I didn't want to ruin it. And yeah, now that'll be in there. He looks similar, but like his hair is a little bit different. But I mean, the iconic image of the sword and the cape was always there. And then Koji, because at that point he was coming over from Japan, he showed me he showed me basically Phoenix Shift and Rising Flames 2019, the same stuff that we're seeing now when we play it, and images of the world, the Crystalline Dominion, Soundbreak, stuff like that. They showed me that, but a lot of the stuff before a lot of what we call party chat. When the character's running from place to place, I'd be doing in an empty room, not seeing it, being like, wow, look at this place. And it's just, I'm not there. But I'd always just have to look up, and I think I was doing kind of my best Nathan Drake enters an amazing place with awe was what I was giving. And it wasn't until I actually start seeing a lot of the base levels of the cut sequences where we kind of like put our voice to it, that was a lot easier to imagine.
So was there a lot that was unscripted?
No, there is not. I wish there was, but this is a video game that people have to program. If I start going off script, people are just a bit like, whoa, that's just a lot more work for everyone, isn't it?
Yeah.
But within the lines, there were lots of opportunities for improvisation between the lines, and it might sound small, but there are a lot of the stuff that happens between like Clive and Sid, and essentially what kind of like happens to Clive and Jill and Sid and all of that stuff, like those interactions were defined by us bringing ourselves to it. So yeah, there was improvisation in the sense that like we would say lines how maybe the directors and the writers hadn't imagined it, and as time went on they would write for our voices, which became a lot easier. We would read lines that would have been written and localized, and then those teams who would localize it years down the line we had like a Clivean way of talking. There was like, Clive wouldn't say that.
Yeah.
We talk about him not asking a question but demanding an answer, and like very, very rarely at the beginning anyway, using an interrogative inflection where he goes up and asks a question because he doesn't have time for it, because all he cares about is going on this very particular quest right at the beginning of the game.
He's got a world to save.
He has a world to save. Well, at that point, he's revenge is a weapon. That part of Clive's arc is very much like, I'm impatient. I have places to be. I don't have time for questions. And then stuff changes, but
yeah.
We got a message as well from Aristars and Ilya, who say, what part of Clive's journey did you resonate with the most? Is there a part of it that...
Brutally, honestly, all the loss. It is out in the public, but my dad died during the making of this game. And that, really. And that's why I'm kind of here with you talking about it. That's why I speak about him a lot. Because... after I'd spoken about that, and after people have played certain aspects of this game, I really like that people have messaged me, and I'm sorry if I haven't messaged back. I'm just busy, but the people are telling me and sharing their own stories about that, and I think that's really nice, that we can experience that together and allow us to kind of maybe heal and understand it a little bit more, because loss is just... that kind of sudden tragic loss is just so soul destroying. It is the most unbearable, earth shattering experience I will ever have, and it significantly changed me, and I genuinely didn't think I would ever come back from it. And that happens to Clive in this game, and you see that development, and you see his inability to maybe come to terms with that, and how that defines his life, and about how maybe he finds a way of allowing it to not define his life, or to find a way through that loss. And yes, it's an action video game with giant beasts, but there is that experience in there, and I really wanted that realness to be there, and that sense of the mountain may seem insurmountable, but if you have, I mean, quite literally the power of friendship, if you have people around you who are willing to understand you and let you in and let you cry, then it's okay. It's okay. And I had this game to help me get through it, because I was able to kind of process it through that. That really, being really sorry, I'm being super honest about it, but that's what it is. And anyone who loses someone, it is entirely their own experience. I have lost someone very close to me. In fact, my granddad died, and then my dad died 2 days later. So it was a double loss, and that was something so shocking, but also entirely mine. My sister experienced that loss differently, my mum experienced that loss differently, and I've known other friends who've lost people, and that's their experience, and I'm not here to kind of give advice about how you get over that, but allowing this character to maybe inform that there is a chance, there is something on the horizon, there is hope, is pretty cool. So that's the answer that I would give to that question.
Oh, thanks for sharing. And like with that, happening like during the production of this? Has it made it more difficult to go back to it and play through it, or is it?
No, it's so cool. It's really cool. Oh my god!
You've got this as a tribute now.
Yeah. Oh my god, there is so much of my dad in this game. It's so much. I spoke the last time I spoke to my dad was on the way to recording Final Fantasy 16. He was so proud that I was doing this because where is it? Final Fantasy 8 there. So that was the game that he bought me, and he ended up buying me all of them, right? Really, until I had the ability to buy them myself. He was the one who supported me in that experience, and he was so proud. He knew how much this meant to me. And I just really want this game to be a tribute to him and Clive's journey to be a tribute to him and a tribute to anyone who's lost anyone, because I think there is a tendency in video game characters for their loss to be trivialized for the purposes of plot, but I think that Clive carries it with him a lot, and hopefully whatever else you think about this video game, you can see that within him and how his journey kind of allows him to become a better person.
Absolutely. A question from Carlia Gamer. Which was the first scene you recorded as Clive?
Yeah, good question. I actually can't remember. I genuinely can't remember. It was definitely would have been. Do you know what? I think we started doing it a bit chronologically. So it might have been in the opening section when I would Team Bastard. It might have been that. That's genuinely their name, Team Bastard. Yeah, they're called Team Bastard. I think it would have been.
The community as well.
Yeah, it would have been one of those scenes. I think.
Yeah.
We had a joke. Morgan Rushton, Koji Fox, Ollie Chance, Hannah Price. These are all the people who kind of worked on the games. We all had a joke about the opening line of the game, which was, "It was Moss the Chronicler who said that line. I did that line for many years," because I would do it and then it would we'd have to re-record it for a number of reasons, and so the ongoing joke for years was, Ben, if you could just re-record "It was Moss the Chronicler who said." So yeah, that experience was one that I will never forget having to do again and again and again and again. But I think it was that. And really early on, I would have Sid and I would have Jill in the room at the same time. So really within the first week I was in the room with Ralph and Susie doing all of our kind of banter together. I saw that PlayStation recently had just released a comedy supercut of all of Clive and Sid's banter together, which was really fun to do. Somewhere in the depths is they did some recording of us together in the booth, which literally some old footage of us, so that'll emerge at some point on the internet. But yeah, it was super fun.
Got such iconic voices. Ralph, for me, I playing the game, it was just strange because I know Ralph from when I was young. I used to watch The Office, and his character's quite different in Final Fantasy to...
That is the power of acting, Ben.
I know, it's wow. People get
Ralph is not defined by one job he did over 20 years ago.
Well, I'm playing the game, I'm I just know him as a sex pest from The Office. And it's it's power of acting. Shows how good an actor he is.
Yeah, but he has one of those, just the most amazing voices. He gets so much for free just because not only is he a great actor, but that voice is iconic. He was really prevalent in my life when we were first started recording 16, because he was the voice of the Dacia adverts. So wow. Yeah, that was it was always on TV at the time.
I remember that.
Yeah, there you go. Ralph Ineson, the voice of the Dacia.
And he's also in Diablo as well. Came out at the same time.
I think I've seen articles saying it's the summer of Ralph Ineson. So it absolutely hot girl summer of Ralph Ineson.
A question from Elvira VT. What do you think Clive's favourite food would be?
Yeah, nice. He doesn't eat in this game, does he? Or does he eat? Do we see him eat?
Well, there is a scene with him and Jill where they go and eat by the lake, by the river. There's some very good looking bread.
Yeah.
Final Fantasy games, they know how to make good looking food.
Apart from grapes.
Well, I don't know. I've been loving the grapes. I've been loving the grapes memes. Have you seen the grapes are much higher def in this game?
Of course.
I did see I think for maybe FanFest or something, they've produced
Yes.
Yeah. Are you going to get? I think that I really want to get one of those.
You should. You
Better
should
bring
get
it
all the
back.
merch.
I don't deserve 14 merch. I haven't done anything for 14.
Well, I've got a question coming up with that.
I do, yeah.
We've got a question now from Milo Drums who says, how tall is Clive?
6'1".
Okay.
I think he's about 6'1".
Is that factual or are you guessing?
That is absolutely me guessing.
No, that's factual. That is actual facts. Yeah.
I think he looks about 6'1", doesn't he?
Update the Wikipedia.
He's
He's
a
6'4".
strapping lad.
Yeah, I mean he's probably about like 5'8", but his hair is like is the rest
And
of
the
it.
sword.
Yeah, and the sword. That sword just looks so heavy, doesn't it?
Okay, that's one thing that I can't get over is every time he does that, it's too long for his arm to come out of the whatever it is that's on his back.
I'm sorry, Ed. You can believe that there are magical monsters in this world, but you can't. Oh my God, fake fan.
Shocking.
Yeah, well, he just can. That's the magic of fantasy.
That's fair.
Yeah,
that's all the answer I need.
Maybe it's I can't. I don't know the physics of it. I don't know the physics of the Buster Sword. Still, the Buster Sword baffles me as that. Yeah.
I mean, you are an actor, so it comes naturally to you. But how do you kind of approach becoming Clive from like walking in off the street? So walking as Ben, how do you kind of get into
There is a process.
Yeah,
I think there is a process. You can't just go hi. Okay, well, you can. I just did, but I think you have to because of what he goes through and what his life is. It takes a couple of minutes. I mean, by the time that we were finishing this, I could get into Clive. I could access him easily. We would actually, for the first 2 years, use ref voices. So if I'd been away for a month or so, they would play me a set of very particular lines for me to have a consistency with the voice. Yeah. But by the time it finished, I just kind of knew where I was really with him, and so it wasn't really a problem. But sometimes it takes a couple of minutes, and sometimes we get into it straight away. Some of my favourite scenes in the entire game are 9 a.m. Monday morning. I walk in, I do scene. It's one take, and we move on. Nailed it. And then we spend 20 minutes on one line because I can't get it. It really varies.
Yeah, I was about to say. So it varies. Sometimes you do it first time. What's like the most amount of takes? I'm guessing the opening scene. If you've had to do that multiple times.
I would say the most amount of takes was probably I don't know. This is such a guess.
Yeah,
probably 20.
Okay,
it's probably the most I ever did on a particular line.
Yeah, not just sick it toggle.
We would with those, because all of the fight stuff. We decided we were just going to put them in what we called the bucket. So I would just say 50 versions of that line. Okay, yeah. And then we just put it in the bucket and let people choose, because you lose any sense of what that line actually means by the time you do it. And yeah, it's interesting hearing some of the lines, because I just have no recollection of ever recording those because there's just so many of them. It's the Ben, we need you to get nudged by someone in a crowd noise, which is
sorry, what was that again?
But we need it. And all of those like jumps and nudges and grunts that he does, sometimes you don't even hear, are individually recorded. So that they would probably take longer than. I remember Morgan Rushton and I just in detail analysing the correct intention behind her. And we got to a point where it was like 15 minutes in, and we were thinking, is anyone going to care? Is anyone going to care? But we really did, and kudos to Morgan as well, performance director, and was a part of the localization team. Just absolute meticulous attention to detail. Would not let anything slip in this process. Everyone was just like this. This is forever. It matters. We're not going to just go, whatever. It wasn't us just seeing how many lines we can do in an hour. We didn't get it done, we didn't get it done, but we wanted to get it done right.
Is that kind of like how you kind of maybe you weren't surprised by how kind of the voice acting was received then? Because like that was pretty much every review I've read has been the voice acting is stellar. Not to be big-headed. I mean,
no. Please tell me what other things you like about me. It was surprising. No, it wasn't surprising. It was a relief. because you work really hard, but you have no idea how stuff's going to be received. You've got to do your bit, and then you add it to the pile, and then alchemy happens, and out comes a video game.
It's magic.
That's literally all it is. No one does anything. We literally throw it into a pot. Some does a magic wand, and they go, bam, there's a video game. And that is how games are made. Heard it here first.
Yeah, I think that is true. Yeah, I was in the studio the other day.
Absolutely.
My experience on this one video game, that's exactly what happened. It's so wonderful that has been how this game has been received, and our part in it has added to people's experiences. And it wasn't a surprise. But it was a really wonderful validation of how hard everyone worked. People have put, and you can hear it from their performances, people have just put their heart and soul into this. Every single actor came in and just went, I think everyone kind of raised their game because we realized who we were performing with, and you'd hear the other performances and you think, wow, I've actually got to turn up today. I can't turn up and be lazy and kind of rest on my laurels when I'm in a booth with actors whose work is so amazingly strong and they're bringing their A game to it. I have to work a lot harder. And that's I think why it's resonating with people.
Yeah. Speaking of the number of takes, we had a question from Solid Slug, who gave us a clip.
Oh wow. You might have seen this.
Harpocrates talking about Torgal, saying that he was buried in my nuts. How many takes did that scene take? Or were you even in that scene? Like, did you get to do that
I remember
together?
hearing it. Yeah, I remember hearing it. So it didn't take that. I mean, Clive doesn't say anything towards the end of that scene, does he? With his, is it Torgal has his head in my nuts?
I'll find it if we want.
Yeah.
Shall I find it?
Yeah,
because I bet that's on. Yeah, because it's something about.
Edmund Dean is the name of the actor who plays Harpocrates, and he has the voice of a Werther's original, doesn't he?
He really does.
Yeah, you can hear it in his voice. What a great part. Also, just his performance, it's silk. It just sounds so smooth.
Here we go, already. I don't know if we can pick this up, but.
Why, the beast has the appetite of a behemoth. Just this very morn, I found him with his nose buried in my nuts.
You can hear it in Edmund Dean's performance. He knows exactly what he's saying. His nose buried in my nuts. Yes, it's the most carry-on thing about it, and I love the cheekiness of this game.
Yeah.
That's it. That's Koji Fox right there.
Nice. A question from Jenny. Who was Torgal's voice actor? You know, it wasn't Milton.
I don't know. I wish. I think they should do a full-on interview with Torgal's voice actor, shouldn't they? Really?
Absolutely.
Get them on.
Yeah. They're
Maybe
missing.
we should do that.
Yeah, for the 100th episode.
Great.
Yeah, they're missing a featurette opportunity here with actually going around, because I saw Paws of Valasthea going around in Australia. I think they did like a whole. They got loads of dogs to dress up as various icons and do stuff. I think I've loved the dog tie-ins. The, can you pet the dog? Rate my dog. All of that stuff. They've understood the power of what dogs can do. I've never met the voice actor. But as far as I'm concerned, Milton is canon Torgal.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I'm so sorry.
Could be.
But as far as I'm concerned, Milton is canon Torgal. So
Of course. Of course.
But like we talk about Koji Fox and like how he comes up with some. He knows his jokes.
Yeah.
Like you have. Well, I'm going to ask you about Final Fantasy 14, but Fates in Final Fantasy 14 have some of the best names. Like they're so great puns of modern life stuff. We had a question from have we lost it? There we go. From Pootle, who says, "How's your Final Fantasy 14 journey going, and will you stream it?"
Thanks for asking. I think I'm going to start it in the autumn, and I'm going to start an entirely new character. I'm going to start from A Realm Reborn again. I know people say stick with it. I'm like, I will stick with it. I got it in 2013 and then played it when it first came out, stopped at the end of A Realm Reborn, and that's what I've done. I played it on PlayStation 3. I will restart it and play it, and I've already had a load of really wonderful Final Fantasy 14 streamers say that they will. Tiffany Lockhart is one of them, so shout out to Tiffany. Said that she would give me an Uber all the way through to Endwalker. So I look forward to that. And I think I made kind of like a blood pact with Susie the Sphere Hunter yesterday that we were going to go and do it together. So maybe we will do that.
Will you play as Clive?
I am not sure yet. I'm not sure yet.
I wonder if there's any crossover planned, because 15 had a nice crossover.
You would think so.
I can
knows,
say
but he can't say
right
anything.
now.
Is there?
I can say right now that I have heard absolutely nothing. With the most complete
exclusive.
confidence.
Well, it's an exclusive that he hasn't heard anything.
Yeah, it's an exclusive. I haven't heard anything.
Yeah.
So I don't know, but I mean, mate, that would be amazing.
It would be, yeah.
That would be so cool.
Did you? You want to play the 15 one, because the 15 one was like probably quite a good few quests in there. You got the car. I use that as my mount now, flying around. But actually, I recently
regalia.
Yes, the flying kind of transformer.
Yeah.
But I recently restarted playing 14 from scratch, because I'd played in the PS3 era.
Yeah.
And yeah, like it was so long ago that I played it. So I went through it again, and actually A Realm Reborn, like 2.0, I went through that pretty quickly.
Yeah.
Really enjoyed it. I thought the pacing wasn't as bad. It does definitely lose its way a little bit between 2.0 and 3.0, especially near the end of it. There's one where you have to like speak to 8 people in one place, and then you have to take the ferry or whatever to the next place and speak to another 8 people. So there are bits that do drag a bit, but I mean, you know what's to come.
It's interesting when people say that in what a 3,000 hour video game. I'd imagine it would drag at some points, but I think the fact that it has 50 million players, probably 20 million active players daily, or something stupid like that people seem to like it.
I used to stay till 6 a.m. I used to stay up till playing that game.
Yeah,
like,
when I was doing A Realm
summer.
Reborn, I did the same thing. I was obsessed with that game. Yeah. I was a high elf called Cadburon Talathon.
I was Salvador Limones from
brilliant.
Grim Fandango.
There you go.
I was just Ed Knights, which I am everywhere.
That's really good. That's really good. On brand, all the way through.
Well, if you're so you're thinking of maybe streaming, or maybe you would join in with somebody who is streaming it.
Well, there's a lot of pressure to stream. I think streaming is good on you if you want to do that. Like I can barely like keep up with like Twitter right now with things. I don't think I could keep up streaming.
You could do a cooking stream with the Final Fantasy 14 Ultimate Cookbook.
I was saying we should get Victoria Rosenthal on for your 100th episode. Find out what really inspired. It's an avid Final Fantasy 14 player, I'd imagine.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I don't know. Would I stream it? Maybe, but I don't want to make promises that I can't keep.
I'll go one last question, because I think you're going to skip those, but I want to know, and I don't know the person who asked it, but it was a great question. It was like, if they decided to kind of remake all the games and voice all of them, which main character would you want to voice if you couldn't?
So remake the ones that aren't already voiced.
Yeah. Or
oh my god, easy answer. Laguna in Final Fantasy VIII.
Great choice.
I've been
Great choice.
That there is no other answer for me.
Yeah.
That. I was asked.
The man with the machine gun.
The man with the machine gun.
Is that the?
Well, he has a gun. Well, it's. Are we going to talk about spoilers for it? Actually, no.
Go for it. I mean, I haven't played it since I got it on launch.
Oh, 8 spoilers. Oh, go for it.
Yeah, I got 8 on launch, and then the memory card went kaput.
People have been
it.
like, oh, would you want to voice Squall? And I'm going, well, yes, but I don't think they'd let me do that. But I think, like, guys, maybe let me voice Laguna. Come on, it's so cool. He gets, I think he gets like a bad leg or like a bad ankle. He falls over on his ankle and he tries to talk to a girl that he really fancies. I'm like, that's classic. That's classic Laguna. There's he goes on a film set. He goes on a film set and accidentally fights a real dragon. And it's really good. The detail in 8.
Fucking game.
What a game. I think that it is a modern. It is a game that would do so well with a modern remake. I genuinely don't think they'll remake it.
I don't think they've got the source code anymore.
Yeah, I think it's such
full remake maybe.
Yeah. It's such a beautiful, wild, insane story that just goes to some mad places. Quite literally, the moon and space. It is so fantastical. Yet with a real kind of like grounded soul, and I think Laguna is the heart of that. That's what I would love to.
You might like Final Fantasy 14 then. I'm guessing you've seen the trailer for Endwalker.
It's impossible to not.
Yeah. So you wouldn't be doing. I mean, it's already acted, but you wouldn't do a Tidus. Because I was going to ask you how your laugh is. Your Tidus laugh.
My laugh. Ha 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 ha. That is my
okay,
Tidus.
That was pretty good.
I think actually, yeah, maybe Tidus.
You're hired.
Yeah, I think the I love you saying Tidus. I'm contractually have to say Tidus.
I
I'm
know.
so
Yeah,
sorry.
the first time I heard that was quite recently. I'm like,
Yeah,
what?
because
Is
they
it-
never say his name.
Is it Marco or Mako?
It's the climate.
It's
but that's the great thing about Final Fantasy 16 as well. I was like, I've always said Chocobo, not Chocobo.
Yes.
And I'm like,
well,
and
in
they say
Valisthea, it's Chocobo. Well, it's for Clive. I think maybe some people do say Chocobo in it. But
okay.
yeah, it's an accent thing. It's tomato.
yeah,
Exactly.
Chocobo.
Marco. It's not Marco for me. It's Mako
Yeah.
for me. But also that's because I have an English accent.
Same.
So it's that basically. That's the reason I would say Mako.
Yeah. Well, we've talked about what you will be playing, which is
Yeah.
14.
Mhm.
Every time we do the podcast, we always talk about what we've been playing recently.
Yes.
Which for all of us is Final Fantasy 16.
It is.
But we've heard that you are actually quite the trophy hunter.
I am. Yeah.
What have you been playing recently? What have you platinumed recently?
Should I get my phone out? For
Should we
you?
compare
I mean,
some
if you want
platinums?
to.
Let's compare some
trophies.
platinums.
This is here we go. Let's get this out. So I'd been playing a lot of 16. Obviously, then I would usually be a lot more prolific up to this point in the year, but I've been busy with this.
Understandably.
Just
But I just before I went out to Los Angeles, I finally got the platinum trophy on Resident Evil 4.
Great
Nice.
game.
A great video game. I was very fortunate enough to meet the brilliant actor Nick Apostolides, who plays Leon, and I was just fanboying over him. I think to take on a character like Leon Kennedy and do it that much justice and be that brilliant side of both, like making us root for him and loving, embracing the kind of the camp of that series, but also being kind of like the beating heart of it. I'm just huge fan. Then before that, Octopath Traveler 2.
Platinumed, wow.
Great game.
Yeah, gamer.
I need to
hardcore
finish
gamer.
that. Really
Actually,
need to finish
a
that.
couple of RPGs, Chained Echoes, Crisis Core.
Now, Ed didn't even manage to finish Chained Echoes because it was too difficult.
Listen.
It is difficult.
I literally
That
got
last
to the
boss.
last boss and I was like, this is infuriating. And then I put it down and I just haven't gone back to it.
Because it's the fact that you obviously can't level up unless you level up with it. So it entirely relies on strategy. And if you don't get the strategy right, then it's really difficult as a video game. I loved and hated the overheating, the fact that you had to manage your party. If you haven't played it before, Chained Echoes is, I think, it's one of my favorite games I've played in the past couple of years.
It is brilliant.
The music is amazing, the art style is amazing, it's really reminiscent of Chrono Trigger, and it has this amazing system whereby your attacks are stronger when you're in this kind of green zone, so you have to balance what attacks you do to keep you in this green zone, which is this kind of like to and froing of both being offensive and defensive, and then swapping your party in and out. It forces you to swap your party in and out to keep you within this area.
It's a really clever system.
Yeah, and one that I'd love to see more RPGs kind of take on board. And actually, both Octopath Traveler 2 and Chained Echoes were brilliant examples of how to do really exciting strategic turn-based combat. Loved them both. Thought they were really, really magnificent examples of how, like, where we've come to and how you can make that really exciting. And yeah, I love them both.
Are you looking forward to Sea of Stars?
Oh
later
my
this year?
God! Day one purchase for me, Sea of Stars.
Yeah.
I haven't. People keep saying, "Have I played the demo?" No, I haven't. I'm just going to go in and I'm just going to play that. That is so my jam.
The demo is great.
Yeah, I mean, luckily my memory lasts about 2 weeks for things like that, and then I forget everything. So like, I played it, I'm like, I know I like it, and I'm going to end up having to replay the beginning bit again because
it's just
I don't remember it, but it's so good.
Magical.
Yeah.
Oh my God, I can't wait for it. Yes. So
You've got the platinum of Elden Ring, right?
I do have the platinum of Elden Ring.
How many hours did that take you?
That took me 110 hours.
For the platinum?
Were you playing that during voicing Clive?
Yeah, I was. Yeah, I was. So 110 for the platinum. I know you said that's a surprise, right? Like, why did that really quickly?
Well, that's how long it took me to finish the game,
that's
let alone the
because-
platinum.
that's because, and I'll tell you why. You can get the platinum trophy just by doing the cheat, where you replay the ending.
So you're a cheater.
So Ben Starr.
I was for Elden Ring.
Video
I was
games.
for Elden Ring. Yeah. I'm going to tell you right now. I think it's like a 10% platinum completion rate on Elden Ring, and I'm going to say 90% of those people have done the reset. I'm not going to go back and replay the entire game for 10 minutes of extra stuff.
I mean, that is fair. I haven't even got past. I don't know where.
Renala is where you are.
Yeah, I beat her. The Death Stranding lady.
The Death Stranding
Yeah,
lady
she's got with
the orange
She's
baby.
got BB. Yeah.
That's it. I put 150 hours into Death Stranding and got the platinum on that. Like I did. I really committed to.
I very rarely meet somebody that's played more Death Stranding than me.
I spent my first like 50 hours of that game just like building a motorway.
Oh yeah, that makes it so much easier.
I built a motorway and thought this is going to pay off, and it really did.
Yeah.
And also, it was as a Strand, as it wasn't probably the first Strand game, but it was a Strand game that we call them now.
Yeah.
I remember I was playing Death Stranding when I was doing this game, and when I first started recording this game, and they would come in and say, they say, what have you done? I went, last night I spent 6 hours just building a motorway,
trudging up the mountain,
and that bit of motorway would get likes because other people would use it.
Yeah,
of course.
Because I played it twice. The first time I played it, I didn't realise you could do multiple likes. So I would just give everybody a solitary like for things.
Yeah. You're the Scrooge of likes.
Yeah. The music was so good in that game.
The low roar.
Yeah, but also like the music, the actual soundtrack as well. Because there are two. If you search for it, there are two playlists or two albums. One of the low roar music and one of the actual soundtrack, and they're both just brilliant.
It's a great game, and I can't wait for DS2.
There we go. Look at that. You're outnumbered for once.
No,
I will happily play it.
But also, Ed, I will also say I totally get why you think it's rubbish.
Yeah.
I didn't say rubbish.
I know why you absolutely despise Death Stranding.
I've said this to you before. There was like, it's a game that I love, but I wouldn't recommend it to everybody.
Yeah, I could not recommend it to people. I do want to give a shout out to Signalis. Sorry,
great
just
game.
got a code.
Great
Oh
game.
my!
Oh wait, no, that's yours. Sorry, I'm thinking of Synapse.
It's on Game Pass.
Yeah,
Synapse,
Signalis. Yeah,
Signalis is
really cool game.
just what like as a throwback to PS1 games. It's so good. The atmosphere is amazing. It is such a mind f.
You can swear.
It's such a fucking
we're there swearing.
It screwed with my head so much.
Clive, of course you can swear.
Yeah, I know, but I don't know. I don't want to be that. I swear professionally.
You have to pay him to swear.
Yeah, but I since I've got a PlayStation 5, I became kind of obsessed with getting platinum trophies, and it just was a really fun exercise. So I did it on Deathloop as well. Like I really enjoy. It used to be just games that I really enjoyed, and then I realised I enjoyed most games, so I would go and do it. And it is really fun to see how a lot of games you don't have to play to completion to get the platinum trophy, but you do experience them in other ways that you wouldn't normally. And so often I will just play a game normally, and then I will go back and see what can I do to get the trophy. And I never used to replay games, and now I do regularly. I mean, to get the platinum trophy on Resident Evil 4, how many times do you have to replay that?
What was the most fun platinum that you've had?
The most fun platinum. I really love like doing an open world collector. There's nothing that gets me more excited than like a bog standard open world collectathon.
Spider-Man, have you played? You got those?
Yeah, I love Spider-Man. I wouldn't say it's the most fun platinum I've ever done. It's an easy platinum to get, bar like a couple of the combat trophies that are quite annoying. I was so committed that my friend Abubakar Salim plays Bayek in Assassin's Creed Origins. A brilliant actor, brilliant friend, lovely man, and he was Bayek, and I just wanted to play Assassin's Creed Origins, and I played it for 25 hours, and then my PlayStation exploded.
Oh no!
Literally?
I mean, it did the whole like poof like that, and then just didn't work, and I lost everything. I lost all my data, and then I finally got a new PlayStation. I got it fixed, and I was like, I do need to play this for Abu. So I played it from the beginning again, and then spent 100 hours getting the platinum trophy on Assassin's Creed Origins, which was great. It was a great game.
Cool game.
That was the only Assassin's Creed I have finished actually, and I think it's because of the Yorkshire name, Bayek.
God, that is a terrible joke.
That's really good.
Yeah.
Oh God.
I think honestly that is generally the only one I finished. I really loved Origins.
Okay,
it's cool.
I'm shouting out because I'm just going through Returnal.
I was gonna say I saw you've got Returnal.
Yeah,
Jane Perry.
And I love that game, and I still haven't finished it. I cannot get past the snow level.
Yes.
Help me.
I would Yeah, I can't help you. It's like it is the most like Zen game, and that sounds crazy, but a bit like Hades, where you get like when I played Hades,
You get in the zone.
you get really good at it. I can't tell you how to play that game. I probably couldn't go back. If you asked me what controls I was pressing, I don't know. It was just an extension of my own body. Celine was me by the end of it. I was Jane Perry. So Returnal, I loved it, and it isn't the nicest platinum. In fact, it's actually quite a Housemarque. If you're watching, you're probably not. Down the lens,
might be.
You are. No, I didn't. Yeah, you're definitely watching Housemarque.
Jane's definitely watching.
Please, please, that is the worst. You just procedurally generated stuff is not fun for collectibles. But I loved it so much that I would just. It was an excuse to keep going and playing it again and again and again.
Sure.
And when I finally got like the final sigil or whatever it is that you have to find, the final symbol for the language, I just couldn't believe I'd found it. And it was in like the deepest, darkest depths of the last level of the game. After, I don't know, the 100th time I'd gone down there, and I got it. And then I did the DLC. I did the Ascension DLC because I loved it. I just became obsessed with
It's
it.
such a good game.
It really is. It's one of those games that gets rated kind of like 9 out of 10 that I love like a 20 out of 10.
Yeah.
You know, it's a game that isn't for everyone. But what it does so sublimely. It is the best version of that. It looks absolutely stunning. It's so much fun, and when stuff's happening, it's just a visual feast, and I love it. And the sound design of this game.
I have the vinyl. I bought
You
the
do have
vinyl. I
the
found
vinyl.
it in a vinyl shop, and I went and bought
Then
it.
you played and you were like, ooh, this isn't put ambient music.
I mean, it's not the nicest music to sit and listen to, but in the game, it's incredible.
Yeah. I remember I'd known Jane for years. I've known Jane for about 10 years. And then we reconnected after I had finished Returnal. And I just sat down with her and grabbed her. Jane, tell me your secrets.
Say the words.
It's so deserving. I'm so pleased she won the BAFTA for her performance.
She's also incredible in that game. Incredible.
Because it isn't just it's so much more than just a game about shooting aliens. And when you play that game, you will know that. You will realize that because of what Celine goes through, and Jane just threads the needle, and you've got to like Celine, and it's once you realize what's happening and what the story is about, and it reveals itself, it is just this amazing bit of art. I went to the I went to the BAFTAs earlier last year.
So did Ed.
We
From
saw
the
each other.
other side of
We hung out.
Actually, we hung out. I ran out and saw you. And I was on the table with the guy who I think he's like the founder of Housemarque. And I like spat out my water and went, I love your game. I think they're brilliant at what they do. I can't wait to see whatever it is that they do next. I think Housemarque is so good. And they've managed to kind of take arcade into the AAA space.
I did love that they went for something that wasn't just going to be mass market and everyone's going to love it.
Yeah.
Because I kind of fell off it a bit because I'm not the best gamer, to say the least. And so I played a bit, and I think I got to the boss of the first level.
Yeah.
I was like, I think we did it together.
We did too.
But they do make it more difficult if you're co-op.
Yeah, they do.
And I'm like, I could probably beat this on my own if I kind of just sat and concentrated.
Are you saying I didn't help you?
I'm saying that I was kind of rushing it. It was also on stream, and there was a tiny bit of lag, and I'll blame all that.
Nightmare.
Excuses.
Oh, wow.
Yeah,
Excuses.
I'll blame it.
That's a game that you need to have all your
You need
wits
to
about
focus.
you.
Yeah,
absolutely.
It's like an ultimate the zone game.
Yeah.
When you're in it, I remember just like when people say they play games and then you realize that you're gripping the controller so tight that you actually have cramped your hands. That was my Returnal experience.
Yes.
Yeah.
Same.
Maybe with F1.
Yeah. Now, the internet is big fans
Yes.
of Clive.
Yes, they are.
And there was a lot of thirst for Clive.
I'd hope
and
so.
the entire cast of Final Fantasy 16.
Yes.
So what we would love is for you to read out some of those thirst tweets as Clive.
And I haven't read these. You sent these to me.
I've sent these to you. This is your fresh reaction.
Fresh.
And I'm not going to look at them as well, so I'm going to hear.
No, yeah, these are new.
Okay.
Feel free to skip any that are just
Do you want me to say these as Ben or as Clive?
As Clive, I think.
Okay.
I think that's what the
As long as you
people
don't get
want.
into trouble.
No, it's fine. It's fine. Okay. When he says, "Come to me, Ifrit," I want to be Ifrit.
That's our friend Cliff, by the way. Cliff?
Yep.
Cliff is gaming?
Yep.
Yep, there you go. Embarrassing you.
Trying really hard to focus on the story of Final Fantasy XVI, but literally constantly getting distracted and saying he's so hot whenever Clive exists in a scene. Clive has no business being as hot as he is with a name like Clive.
It's fair.
The guy who does the voice for Clive is so hot. It's disgusting. Did the FF16 dev team add a photo mode specifically because they knew how hot Clive was?
Did they? Is that why there's a photo
Yes.
That's
mode?
the only reason.
It's
That's
just
the
tagged
only
on. There's not
no,
tools
have you
you
seen?
can do
Have
in
you
it.
seen what they've done? Like, people have just put the photo in the camera in places the camera doesn't. It should not be.
Where toggle is, yeah.
Yeah, I saw one streamer just like spending about 5 minutes just lining it up to get Clive's crotch. So, okay.
Fair, yeah.
Okay. The FF16 OST most definitely stays on during sex.
Which track though?
Yeah.
I really hope it's the
Find the
battle music.
Find the flame.
Which is the one that goes on that, like, during you'll play these massive icon battles, and then there's like
Yeah,
nice
yeah.
bit of violin music playing at the same time. Is that
no,
what?
no, I was thinking Find the Flame is the one where, press L3 and R3 to accept the truth.
Oh, of course.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Of course.
Find the Flame! Which also, the lyrics mean a lot as well, especially when Clive's fumbling around. Find the flame, please. Okay. I haven't gotten far in Final Fantasy 16 at all, but I just wanted to say I'm thoroughly surprised everyone is thirsty for Clive and not Ifrit Icon of Fire. I know you all are monster fuckers. I was here when Super Mario movie came out.
Understandable.
People love Bowser.
Ha! Sorry, I'm shutting down. I'm reading
This
these
is
for the first time.
that you're seeing-
I'm going, boy.
You're like, I wasn't tagged in these.
Yeah, I didn't. Okay.
I'll just say searching for these was really fun.
Yeah. I hate to say it, but Sid Final Fantasy 16 is like a sexy Simon Cowell. When Simon got the weird plastic surgeries, he thought he was going to come out looking like Sid. Why is Clive from Final Fantasy 16 so toe-curlingly hot? I'm foaming at the mouth.
The foaming. I mean, the sexy Simon Cowell for Sid, that is. Yeah.
Clive butt naked. Sorry. Clive butt ass naked in a jail cell. But why was he naked? What was the reason?
What was the reason?
Yeah, that was actually. I thought that was going to be a 30 tweet, but also a genuine question.
Yeah.
Why was he naked?
I don't know. I think he must have busted out of those old clothes and just turned into an icon, or even maybe the clothes were. I don't know. I don't know why he's naked. Don't ask me. I
wonder that. Yeah, when they turn to an icon and then they go back,
Where
they
did the
ripped
clothes
their
go?
clothes. Always, but
I just don't know. I just didn't. So sorry, guys. I just didn't write it. I don't know. I just don't know.
You need to know. You're the only one that we know.
I'm so the only one we know. I would say, the practicalities of it aside, thematically, I think it's incredibly important. As much as it's like, oh, he's naked, it's the idea that it's thematically revealing the fact that Clive has been reduced to nothing. He has nothing.
He's lost everything.
He's lost everything. And so everything he thought was his life, the armor that he completely put on to kind of like carry himself for those 13 years, he has nothing. He is reduced to nothing but his own skin, which he fundamentally despises because it's the one thing that he believed did the thing. So that's what I would say is the legitimate reason as to why he was butt naked in a cell with Sid. That. Okay. My favourite thing in Final Fantasy XVI is that everyone refers to Clive as handsome or attractive, even if it's meant to be derogatory. LOL. The NPC enemies will be like, get the hot one with the fat tits and broody bedroom eyes. And I'll know they're talking about Clive and not Jill.
I think that's my favourite one.
If the Final Fantasy XVI sex scene isn't between Gav and Clive, then what's the point?
A fair point. Very fair point.
I read the Final Fantasy XVI has sex, and I need to know who's involved. No, I can't say the rest of... I can't say the rest of this one. Sorry, that is the one I will not say, but I really appreciate you, Valen.
What was that?
I need to work out which one that one was.
No, that's the one I won't say. I really appreciate it. Square Enix got you back. Don't worry about it.
Yeah. We don't want you to...
Okay, I'm not going to say the last one either.
Fair.
Which one was it?
Yeah, I can't. I don't think I can say the last few
That is
because
fair.
they are so X-rated.
That's
that I
fair.
really hope.
But make sure you tag Ben
Yeah.
Starr in it, so he
Please,
does get to see
please,
it.
tag me in those. Tag me in those thirst tweets. I really appreciate them, and I really like that you're loving all that. But I can't say the rest of those, and that is how that's my limit, right? As you go, like I can't.
We want you to
I
be
did put those in
employable.
and thought,
And you
I
know,
just don't know.
Yeah.
I'll put them in just in case.
yeah,
Fair.
that one. Those they got really X-rated, and that's
Yeah.
the.
We want you to be employable at the end of this.
Yeah,
That is
I get
fair.
that.
Yeah.
Okay, we have the last part of the podcast.
Yeah, those last
which
ones, yeah.
is you know now
Those ones.
which is the Final Fantasy Ben versus Ben quiz.
Go.
Okay.
Go.
Yeah, I mean,
Now you both have
we have
whiteboard.
We have spared no expense.
Yeah. Money.
hopefully the
This
pens
is
work all right.
streamer money, this is. The pens do work because I tested them.
Right. The Final Fantasy quiz I've put together.
Yeah.
There are of course 16
Oh my
questions.
god.
Okay.
Do we have to do we do them one at a time?
Yes, one at a
Right.
time.
Oh, we're doing one at a time. We're not
Yes.
just going like, but
Yeah, one at a time.
Okay,
Show your
good.
answers. If you could also just do a little tally in the corner, that'd be great
Is it like blankety
because
blank?
I can't keep count.
Blankety blank, blankety blank, blankety blank.
The answer to every question is the title of a Final Fantasy game. Okay.
You have to
So
sprinkle that a bit
all
more.
you have to write down is the name of a Final Fantasy game.
We'll be tempted. to
Oh
choose.
wow! And
Do
are
not-
these
do not look.
are these including not mainline entries?
Yes.
What? So I'm just going to write Final Fantasy at the top.
I'm just going to put the number or the.
Okay.
That also works.
Great.
That also works.
I'll
Great.
type in Final Fantasy. I've had a bit of wine, so it's a bit of a mess. But
A
there we
bit
go.
of wine.
Okay, sure. And remember, just do a little tally if you get it right.
Okay.
Okay. And if you're listening at home, feel free to play along
Yeah.
and see what you get.
And I finished a few Final Fantasies, but I'm nowhere near the I actually have the 12 guide and the 10 guide, and I think that's it.
Have you played them both?
I mean, I finished 10. 10 is the best Final Fantasy of all time.
Interesting.
Incorrect.
Interesting.
Question number 1. In which Final Fantasy game does a character suplex a train?
6.
You are both correct.
Yes. That is on my list. I've got the Pixel remasters to play through. I've currently finished 1, and I'm starting 2.
There you go. Right, you
So I
both
will
get a
get to
little
6.
tally in the corner.
Yes.
Thank you.
Okay.
Very generous.
Question 2. In which Final Fantasy game did Chocobo and Sid make their first appearance? In which Final Fantasy game did Chocobo and Sid make their first appearance?
Okay.
Biggest, I'm going to start with you.
I think 5.
Okay.
That's really good. I put 3.
The correct answer is 2.
Oh, wow, okay.
I was
Damn it, I
like-
haven't got to that bit yet.
Yeah, I
Literally
really
just-
was like, I think it's 2. I think it's 2.
I just started.
Question 3. Which Final Fantasy game was the first to feature the card game Triple Triad? Which Final Fantasy game was the first to feature the card game Triple Triad?
I've seen this answer now. I'm going to go 8.
Oh, you were too quick. The correct answer is 8.
Well, Ben's gonna just be warned. Ben will get the point, but does he really win?
Yes.
Would you have said
Well,
that,
you
Ben?
said, winning by cheating, it's valid, apparently.
100%. Oh my god. Yeah. If my Elden Ring platinum, not legit platinum, apparently.
Exactly.
Question 4. Clavat, Selkie, Lilty and Uke are races in which Final Fantasy game?
Can you repeat those, please?
Clavat, Selkie, Lilty, and Uke are races in which Final Fantasy game?
I have no idea. 15? Just to go for something a bit
And
different.
then?
5.
The correct answer is Final Fantasy Crystal Chronicles.
Oh, there you go.
I think that's one of the few I
There you
finished
go.
as well.
I was going to say, you've played that one.
It was terrible.
It was not terrible.
I really want to play Crystal Chronicles.
It's great.
I mean, it was great at the
Yeah,
time.
It
I
is a
finished it.
GameCube classic.
Yeah, I bet it is.
You can play it now, but I played it recently and thought, ooh.
I forgot that we
to the end
weren't
of it.
doing. I forgot that we weren't doing outside main.
There's the odd spin-off in here.
I really appreciate that.
Warn you.
Thank you.
Question 5. Which was the first Final Fantasy game not to be directed by series creator Hironobu Sakaguchi? Which was the
To be
first,
directed.
Which was the first Final Fantasy game not to be directed by series creator Hironobu Sakaguchi?
I feel like I've read this and I've no idea which one it was.
Helpful.
Did you even bring this? Maybe you even brought this up to me.
So he directed
Yeah.
from the beginning, and then there was a point where he stopped being director,
And start being a producer.
and he was a producer.
Oh.
I'm really
Okay.
gonna embarrass myself here.
I'm gonna.
Really
Yeah.
gonna embarrass myself here.
I'm gonna go
Wait,
for.
wait.
Oh wait.
I'm gonna go for such a. This is. I apologise to all Final Fantasy fans here, but I'm going for something here. I've written what my answer is.
Okay,
as
let's
well.
start with you, Ben.
You're Ben.
Ben? He's biggest. You're Ben.
I've written.
I've gone for 7.
7. Okay.
See, I went for 4.
Interesting. The correct answer is Final Fantasy 6.
6.
I actually wrote 6 before then. I was
So
like, no, I can't do
7
that.
is the first where he was executive producer.
That was my thinking.
There you go.
So who directed 6?
He directed 6. And then 7...
Oh my God! So the question was, what was the last game?
Sorry,
that
no.
he was.
Oh,
not
wait.
to be directed 6. No, I'm right. 6 he didn't direct.
He didn't direct 6.
No.
Okay, go.
5 was the last one.
Go. 5.
So it's still
Interesting.
2-2 somehow. You're a lot closer to the game, to the answers. Than
I did not know that. That's really good. That's really good to know. Who directed 6? I would like to know.
Yes, I actually can't remember. I did look up these things. He bought a book on Japanese RPGs.
It's
and
somewhere over there.
It's over
I
there
had to
somewhere.
carry
And
that over here.
it was had a lot of inspiration for questions.
It's amazing. What an amazing man Sakaguchi is.
Yeah. Although he then, after directing, went and made the film that lost loads of money.
Yeah, he did.
Never mind.
Which
Spirits
one?
Within.
Spirits
Oh,
Within.
that's what it was within.
Yeah.
Still pretty, what an amazing, beautiful thing that was. How revolutionary that was.
Did you ever watch the
Also a
15
good
one? Was
film.
that Kingsley?
Kingsley.
I liked
yeah,
that.
I did, yeah.
It
Very
was
nice.
wild.
Advent Children as well. Watched them.
Also a great film. Question 6. Which was the first Final Fantasy game to be released on an Xbox console? Which was the first Final Fantasy game to be released on an Xbox console?
Okay. I am
Big guess?
12.
13.
The correct answer
Is it 11?
11.
Oh, for fuck's
Who
sake.
plays 11? I mean, lots.
Because
of
I was
people,
going,
but-
I was thinking, well, because of the Ethernet cables, and I thought, was it only PS2 that it was released on?
So
When did
11
they
was
release it?
PS2, PC, and then like a year later, 360.
Oh my God, no. How is it still 2-2?
Maybe 12 wasn't even on. I remember
No.
seeing an image, which is the one with the
13 was on
It's
Xbox.
13.
Yeah,
I'm
that was
thinking.
the big thing. But I was thinking, I was like, do I be smart and go with 11 and be like,
You should have done.
I should have been
Go
smart.
Should've
smart.
done.
Go smart.
Question 7. A number of Final Fantasy games are set in the world of Ivalice, but which was the first?
I mean,
A number of Final Fantasy games
Flip
were
a
set
coin,
in the
yeah.
world of Ivalice, but which was the first?
Go.
3.
Ben is correct. Final Fantasy
Tactics.
Tactics.
I just bought that.
I know,
Today.
we-
I literally
you
bought
need
that
to play that.
I need to play it. I bought it today. I've got it. There's the
What a
PSP
world.
version on
What a
Vita.
world Ivalice.
Followed by Final Fantasy 12.
Okay,
Yeah.
so I was miles.
There
away.
is Summer 14 in it as well.
Also, Final
Or it
Fantasy
features
12
14.
Revenant Wings. Let's not forget that.
Of course,
Let's
the
not forget
sequel,
the sequel.
and Tactics Advance on the Game Boy Advance.
Wowee.
There we go.
Happy with that.
What are the scores?
3-2.
3-2.
3-2.
That's a lot closer than I expected at this point.
There you go.
Yeah.
Question 8. In which Final Fantasy game is a character famously called a spoony bard? In which Final Fantasy game is a character famously called a spoony bard? I will say that 16 doesn't count because there is a reference to it.
Yeah.
I went 9.
Is it 5?
It's 4.
Furious.
There is a bard called Edward who is called a spoony bard by Teller.
Edward the Bard.
There you go.
I thought it was going to be 5 because Hiroshi Takai was the director, and I just thought, that's the director of 16. And then definitely a call back. I went, no, it was 4.
It was 4.
Can we have another one of these once I've gone through the Pixel remasters? 'Cause
Sure.
I think I'd be...
Sure.
Although, to be honest, they'll probably all like mix into one.
We'll find some more. Question 9. Which Final Fantasy game has the highest score on Metacritic?
Game. Does
Which
expansion
Final
count?
Fantasy game has the highest score on Metacritic?
This is a great question.
Oh.
I'm changing my answer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm going to try and be smart.
Okay.
But probably wrong.
Do you think you're smart?
No. In general or for this?
Yeah, it's not this, but I'm saying this.
Okay, Biggest, we'll start with you.
See, part of me wants to go for something like Heaven's Ward, but I don't think that would count. Not Heaven's Ward, Shadowbringers.
Okay, but
It would count, but it is not. It's not even top 2.
Okay, I went for 8.
Okay, Ben,
I went for 10.
you're closer. The correct answer is 9,
9.
Ah.
which has a Metacritic score of 94,
Yeah.
and it's followed by 10, 12, and 7 that all have 92.
Yeah.
See, I remember...
Shadowbringers, I think, is 91,
Yeah.
so it's like next after that.
See, we were talking about final, official UK PlayStation magazine, and I remember 7 getting a 10, 8 getting a 10, and then 9 got a 9, and I was like, well, I can't play that. That's
Yeah.
obviously not a perfect Final Fantasy game.
Yeah.
9 is probably the best. It's probably the
Yeah.
best one. It probably is the best.
Do you think?
one. It's not my favourite, but it probably is the best one.
I played a fair
Of
bit
the
of
old
it.
school, I think.
It's a great game.
I really love that we have, of that golden age 7, 8, 9, and like
Incredible
anyone who
games.
says those are their best game, their favourite games.
They're all quite
go
different
for it.
as well.
Yeah, they really are. They have their own identity, and like for whatever, I've just really been tweeting a lot about how amazing 8 is recently, and I love all the love that's kind of coming its way because I think that it needs to get its due. But so 7 and 9 are so amazing, as is 6, as is 10. I love them all.
Absolutely.
You're a Final Fantasy fan?
Yeah.
Yeah.
As you should be. Question 10. Blinded by Light is the title of the battle theme from which Final Fantasy game?
Oh, I was going to show it immediately, but
Hold.
hold.
Blinded by
You
Light
should
is the
preface that with-
title of the battle theme from which Final Fantasy game?
The masterpiece.
I'm gonna. I think.
Okay, Ben, Biggest, we'll start with you.
I think 7.
It's 13.
It is 13.
Oh, it's
Like
the
literally
violins.
the one we were at the. Yes, we were at that conference. At the concert.
It's
We
also
went to
the best battle theme.
Yeah.
It's so good.
It's
The,
so good.
the 13 music is so atmospheric. It's got this kind of like otherworldly. It just sounds almost alien in what it is, and I adore the 13.
I think the music is the best thing about 13.
Yeah, I mean, I think there are lots of qualities.
It's
about
a great
13.
game. I really
but the
like
music
it.
is the best thing about that game.
Yes.
I mean, look, I'm just going to show you here. I have the Lightning Returns guide here. What a game! What a series! Go for it.
Fell off. I need to go into. But yeah, no, I'm kind of annoyed that I didn't get that because we genuinely went to see the Distant Worlds concert, and I was like, that was probably one of the best songs that they played. Obviously,
Yeah.
the 7 stuff.
I was
was
going to say,
great,
I've put some in here that you should know.
Dust to Dust. Honestly, listen,
but
Dust to Dust, which
you know
is
my memory.
amazing in that as well. There's just so many good things. Sunleth Waterscape, again, just cracking songs. 13, go get it.
Absolutely. Question 11.
I'll get there. I'm on 2 at the moment.
Question 11. Bahamut first appeared as the King of Dragons in the very first Final Fantasy game, but in which Final Fantasy game was he first summonable? Bahamut first appeared as the King of Dragons in the very first Final Fantasy game, but in which game was he first summonable?
You said I'd know these answers.
Some of them.
Oh, we
well, they're
got
all
the
guess.
same.
They're all
Yeah,
guessable.
I've guessed.
Yeah.
So you've both guessed 4. The correct answer is Final Fantasy 3, which is the
Nice.
first one to have summons.
I'll get there.
Nice, and he was part of that roster.
And he was one of them, as was Shiva.
Let's find out.
Yeah.
Let's find out.
Was it in the DS
guide.
version? Was he in the DS version?
Yeah, definitely.
He must be in the
I
DS
didn't have it
version.
on DS though. I had it on my I had it. I mean, look at these designs. That's exactly what they look like on the DS
Incredible.
version.
Yeah. Yes, it's like
They're
what you
definitely not
imagined
pointy
it was.
polygons.
Definitely not pointy polygons. Yeah. Anyway, there you go.
You might not know them, but they're all guessable.
I mean, it's
It's
all
just- it's just-
guessable. I
it's
mean,
just put-
everything is guessable.
I think it's
How
fun,
many
though.
grains of sand are in the...
I think I really appreciate this quiz. I think it's very fun, and even though out of 10, I think I've only got 4, I'm really having a lovely time. So thank you.
Good. You might learn something.
I'm learning
I
a
think
lot.
we
it's
can
now
all
getting
we
big-
can all learn something.
It's becoming a bit more reflective of the difference in games.
Sure.
Can we do a redo of this in like a year's time? Once I
Do
get
you want to
through?
refilm this entire section and then
Let's
we get
do
them
it.
all right?
Let's
do it in a year's time as well.
Yeah.
All right.
Once I've got through it. Although I've got into Dave the Diver at the moment, and I'm freaking loving that.
I do think that these details, they aren't reflective of like our experiences of the games. It's like, do you remember these particular details?
Yeah.
Because these games are so filled with so much information. It doesn't matter if you don't know when this thing was first summonable. It doesn't mean you don't like something.
Especially if you're playing them one after the other, like I am. I'm like, they're all it merges into
They all
one.
blur
It's
together.
all just pixels.
Yeah.
No matter how remastered. Great, let's go for it.
Question 12. In which Final Fantasy game do you fight against the Garlean Empire? There's a lot of empires and a lot of Final Fantasy games, but in which do you fight against the Garlean Empire?
Okay.
Ben, I'm going to start with you. 14. Biggest? 14. You are both correct.
Damn it! I thought I had one. I thought I was going to try and
do
catch
have one.
up. Yeah, I wanted to catch up.
I had to throw in a 14 question.
You did, yeah. It'd be funny if I got that wrong.
There you are. Question
Put it past me.
13.
Uh-oh.
The Guado are a race in which Final Fantasy game? The Guado are a race in which Final Fantasy game? Biggest?
I thought I like misheard that's Gerudo then. That's not
Guado, that's
I
Zelda.
went 10.
10?
I also went 10.
Oh.
10 is the correct answer.
Guada
I knew
Salam.
that, of course.
They're the ones with the big green beard.
Guada Salam. It's a really cool section of that game. I like that.
Which is 10's the one with the rides the shoop off, isn't it?
Yeah, it is, yeah.
What a classic.
Yeah.
Is there a
Your
shoop off?
favourite
Is there a
part.
shoop off question in
Yeah.
there?
It's not, I'm afraid. I'm
Should we add
afraid.
it? Should we add it then so you can write it?
Rides a, how would
Yeah.
Clive say rides a shoop off?
I just wrote a shoe puff.
Oh,
There you go.
he wouldn't be goofy. He's too cool to be goofy.
Yeah.
He is too cool. Question 14. Which is the only Final Fantasy game to have more playable female characters than male characters? Which is the only Final Fantasy game to have more playable female characters than playable male characters? It's a tricky one, but I also thought it was an interesting fact.
It's a cool fact.
I'm gonna change, and I might like disagree with this. Well, not disagree, but I might regret it.
I'm just thinking. Yeah. I'm gonna try this.
Okay, Biggest?
I want 11 because I know 14 was when they brought in kind of more kind of both gender races.
Yeah.
Okay,
I've gone
interesting.
with 9.
Ah, the correct answer is Final Fantasy 5.
5, yeah.
Where there are 5 playable characters. It's the only one where it matches. And
That's
there are
cool.
3 women and 2 men.
Yeah.
It's the only one where there's more.
How many are on now? You on 5 or you 6? I can't remember. I thought.
Oh, you can give me a 6th if you want.
I think. Wait.
He's on 5.
Oh, did I do?
Yeah.
Did I
No,
add
4.
like oh no, if we got the 40, oh yeah, we added the 10 one, didn't we? That I didn't add.
Yeah, because I don't think there's been one in a while that I got that you didn't.
There you go. Right, question 15. There's only 2 left.
Wow.
Question 15.
Got to win both of these.
Garuda appears in Final Fantasy 16 as the Warden of the Wind, but in which Final Fantasy game is she known as the Lady of the Vortex? Garuda appears in Final Fantasy 16 as the Warden of the Wind, but in which Final Fantasy game is she known as the Lady of the Vortex?
I have absolutely no idea.
If this is wrong, then it probably is wrong.
Okay. Ben?
I'm going 5 again.
Okay. Biggest?
14.
14 is the correct answer.
Oh,
There you
because
go.
the name of the battle is the Vortex, if I remember rightly.
I was going to
Oh,
say
the
that
Howling
is
Eye, no,
the...
it's different, but the Vortex.
Yeah.
Thank you. Any more 14 questions?
I threw in a couple, especially for you.
Thank you.
Question 16.
Here we go.
Here it
You're
is.
both
In Final Fantasy 16.
You're both going to
5
get this.
points
Will we?
on offer here.
You
is
are
it?
both going to get
we
this.
might not.
Is it 5 points?
The
on offer?
regalia is a vehicle in which Final Fantasy game?
Okay.
I'm so sorry for bringing that up. Final Fantasy 15.
And
15.
14.
Yeah, but
I'm going with
but it
15.
appeared
And
first.
That should be a bonus. To be two bonus points.
That's not a bonus
That
point.
should
It's
be
because
two
the only
bonus
reason it's
The
in
correct
14
answer is
it's in
15. You can both have a point.
That was a really good quiz.
I
I really
enjoyed
appreciated
that.
that. I think
Okay.
there's going to be people at home who've just got like every single question right.
Yeah.
I
And it's
do
gonna
have a
be
tie-break question.
Okay. I mean, let's do it.
I mean, have
So
you...
did I get that bonus point?
No.
Oh.
But, well,
We'll
if we say that, you're tied.
Yes. Okay.
are we tied?
We do if I get the bonus
If
point.
he gets the bonus
14.
point.
Let's
Yeah.
just do it. Let's just do
So,
it.
tie-break question, okay? This one is on 16.
Oh, no.
Because I didn't want to throw that in because I thought you'll know them all.
Yeah, I
feel
might
like
not. I
Ben
might not.
have a
Well, that
slight
also might have
advantage.
embarrassed you. Right, tie-break question. According to the website, How Long to Beat, on average, how long will it take someone to fully complete Final Fantasy 16? So I would like your answer in hours and minutes.
Okay.
To fully complete it.
Yes.
I'm going to pick a very random number.
Okay. I should say this is from yesterday when I did this, so it might have changed.
Let me.
So correct answer to the nearest minute, but in hours and minutes.
The answer is Crystal Chronicles.
Yeah, this is different type of answer. Okay.
Okay. According to the website, How Long to Beat, on average, how long will it take someone to fully complete Final Fantasy 16? Biggest.
So I'm just getting rid of because otherwise it starts with Final Fantasy. I went 53 hours and 17 minutes.
Nice.
Okay.
I went with 72 hours.
See, now you're testing my maths. You're going to have to
Is
work
it
this out.
60,
Is it in the middle?
Is it like 65?
The correct answer is 65 hours
You've got
and
this.
27 minutes.
Yeah.
Yeah, he wins.
Is he closer?
Yeah. I did it in 53. I didn't. I haven't got the platinum yet.
Well, I was going to say, I'm on 75 hours and I still don't have the platinum.
Yeah, I think that's lies. They're lies. Yeah. How Long to Beat is always a lie. They're always like, it takes you like 2 hours to do it. And I'm there just like 100 hours later.
I was quite surprised how long the main story is because I mainlined it because I knew that it was coming out and I didn't want to be spoiled by anything.
Yeah.
So I was like, okay, I'm going to
Skip all the cut sequences.
I skipped.
That's what I'm doing.
No, I did skip the side quest because I was like, I want to get the platinum. So the second time I play through it, I will kind of flesh it out with all the side stuff. And so I skipped the side stuff, but it was still like
It's a beefy.
good 40 odd hours to just play through it, even quickly.
It's got some beef on, isn't it?
That's a lot of beef.
Yeah.
It really does.
A lot of beef
Well,
in that game.
Congratulations, Ben. You are the winner of the quiz.
Oh my god.
It
What
would
do
be
I get?
disappointing if it didn't.
Do I get to be the lead in?
You get to be the lead in the next game.
Amazing. Thank you so much. That's really good.
I
I
actually don't have a
really
prize.
enjoyed that quiz. I get quite nervous about it because I feel like people will judge me if I get things wrong. But hey,
These are quite tricky questions.
Yeah.
They
They
were quite
were.
particular.
they were tricky.
And I feel like you've already proven that you're a big fan.
No, I think it just shows you gaps in knowledge. And I remember playing kind of like 5 and 4 back in the day, and I really can't wait to replay them with the Pixel remasters. Like it's been so long since I played them, and so much of the story I've completely forgotten. Like 5, I was rereading stuff about 5 today, and I thought, oh my god, I cannot remember anything about 5. Like the
5 I haven't played.
It's
So
really
we've got the
good.
Pixel
Yeah.
remasters, and 2 and 5 I haven't played. So that's next on my
I
list.
remember some like major story beats in it and thinking, wow, this is cool. This is really, really cool. Yeah, and I can't wait to play the Pixel remasters. So after I've had my Final Fantasy hiatus.
Of course.
Yeah, I was
We'll
about to
come
say, like, talking about Final Fantasy games, does it just make you want to play them all again?
Yeah, it does. Yeah, it
Yeah.
really does. Me talking about how much I love 8 has made me really want to go back and play 8.
Oh, they've got the remastered one.
Yeah, they have. Yeah. I never thought I would want to go back and replay it because my memories of that game is so specific and unique to that time that I was playing it, because I used them to kind of like catalogue where I was in my life. But there's something about that game that I really want to revisit it.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'll do it.
Was that the first one you said you played?
Yeah, it was the first one.
Yeah, same actually.
What was 8 yours?
Yeah, my first one. And then I went to the second disc and my memory card screwed up. And I was like, you know what? I'm going to put it to one side. And then I think 9 came out and I played a little bit of that. And never went back to it. 10 was the first one I properly finished.
I think 8 was the first one I saw.
Yeah.
I remember seeing it in Electronics Boutique.
Oh,
no.
wow, that's a...
Wow,
Yeah.
There you go. I remember seeing that on the screens, but
Yeah.
7 was the first one that I properly played through from start to finish, and
What a
that's why that
masterpiece.
is my favourite. Unfortunately,
7 is just so good.
I am a basic bitch.
I remember loading up Remake and crying within about 3 minutes. Of
The fact you can look upwards and see the sky, and it's not just a fixed camera. I was like,
the-
this is what the world
yeah,
looks like.
That first moment after the bombing mission, you go back to the slums, and then you walk out in the morning and you see the skybox in front of you, and you just think, wow, this is real.
What a game.
Yeah.
I cannot wait for Rebirth. Show me more of that world, please.
Absolutely. That was the end of the quiz.
Brilliant.
And the end of the podcast.
Yes.
Wow, we did it.
Oh,
We
Ben,
have.
thank you so much for joining us
Thank
for this
you.
very special
Thank
podcast.
you. Thank you.
95 episodes in, and we got the lead character, the lead voice actor of Final Fantasy
We did
16.
well.
Never again, though. Never again. This is the last time I'll go on this podcast. No, I'd love to. Can I come back for your 100th?
Absolutely.
Please do. Please do. And like I
Yeah.
say, we've got an extra spare space on here if you want to bring a guest.
Yeah, I might do. It's a very special guest.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Milton.
Milton.
Yeah,
Yeah, exactly.
my
Yeah.
dog. Yeah,
Could
he
put
would just
Milton
like
here.
he would just potter along here and just walk along like that and then just plonk himself
I
down.
don't think we'd ever have a more viewed video than
If you want, I will bring him. I will bring him to the 100th episode, and we can make that happen.
Oh, if we're allowed dogs, we'll be 100%.
We are
Yeah,
allowed
we get the thumbs up.
Yeah, we're allowed dogs.
Thumbs
We're
up.
allowed dogs. Great.
Brilliant.
Awesome.
Oh,
Well, Ben, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you.
We really appreciate it.
really.
Where can people find you on social media if they want to,
Or
if you want them to?
I don't want anyone to follow me. Please don't give me attention. You can find me at the THE_Ben BEN_star with 2 R's, and you will see me there talking on Instagram and Twitter about silly things that I like. At the moment, it's a lot of Final Fantasy stuff, but on Instagram, you'll just see pictures of me and Milton being silly.
Well, tomorrow, we're going to date this podcast immediately. Tomorrow, Threads comes out.
Yeah.
So will you be on there talking about
I'll
it?
try it out, see
Yeah.
what happens.
Why not?
I've heard that apparently you can import other Blue Sky and Mastodon and everything can be just used on there as well. So
Wow.
might be the place to go. Who knows?
What's amazing is you saying that will date this podcast
Yes.
hugely, because
Exactly.
we will all know exactly where we land.
Because literally, this is coming out tomorrow.
Yeah.
We're going to put this on YouTube tomorrow evening when
Yeah.
it'll have been out and died. Probably.
You talking about Blue Sky and Mastodon as well. They'd be like
Yeah.
going, "Oh, do you remember MySpace?"
Age like milk.
Bebo.
This
Oh my
podcast
God.
will.
Bebo comes out tomorrow, guys. Can't wait to connect with my school friends.
Great.
Oh, but yeah, thank you so much for this, and I'm sure everyone will give you a follow on there. Ed, where can we find you?
You can find me at ed_knights on Twitch, on Twitter, on Insta, wherever else.
Yeah.
I'm always the same. It's very boring.
Well, at least you managed to get yours. That's the great thing about if Threads does take over, at least, because I don't have Biggest Bennis on Twitter. I've got Biggest Bennis 1 on there because there's some person that's not logged on since 2010, but I'm not bitter. But yeah, so I'm Biggest Bennis everywhere except for Twitter, Biggest Bennis 1. But if you want to go and check out some more Swapping Joysticks stuff, because we've got some things on there. We've got a review that went up yesterday, a video review, and also we've got a spoiler cast coming out in the next week where we're just going to chat about the game and
Final Fantasy 16, to be
that is-
clear.
to be clear. Final Fantasy 16. We're going to be talking all about that with all the spoilers. So make sure you've finished playing the game or you have no interest in playing it and you want to know all about it. We'll just be chatting about that ending because a lot of people. We had a lot of questions actually to ask you, Ben, about the ending, but we skipped those unfortunately because there will be people watching that haven't played it.
I have no opinions on it.
Yes.
Of course.
So if you
of course.
buy the game, play the ending, get right to the end, and then go
And then you can
last
tweet
point.
Ben.
It's
Yeah.
evergreen content, guys. Come back to it whenever you want.
Exactly. Yeah, you don't need to. It's not dated. But yeah, go on to youtube.com/biggestbennis if you want to get the video stuff on there. I mean, this is probably where you're watching this if you are. And if you go to swappingjoysticks.com, you can get our feed for Spotify, for Apple Podcasts, Amazon, whatever place you get your podcast from. And we will be posting. We post stuff up there every single week.
Nice.
Yeah.
Well, thank you again to Ben.
Thanks.
And hopefully we'll see everyone else next time.
Brilliant. You want to do your little thing to say? Because I'm going to embarrass you in person in this studio. You can say,
Keep swapping.
he's got to get a better one by 100.